So I'm going to make a start. Now we've got quite a few people online. So welcome everybody to the Your Return to Tech webinar in association and partnership with The Guardian. For those of you who don't know, I am Becky. I am CEO and co-founder here at Tech Returners, and I'll be taking you through a bit of an introduction around who are Tech Returners, and then members of the Tech Returners team will be giving you information regarding the programme and hearing from sponsors and also returners. So just go through the agenda. We're going to meet the team. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of Tech Returners and the history of ourselves. Then James, CTO and co-founder, will talk you about the Your Return to Tech programme, this specific programme in more detail. Then you have an opportunity to meet a number of members from the Guardian team, and we'll hear from them in terms of why they've partnered with ourselves and what they are looking for. You also get to meet some of our previous returners, so people like yourselves that would have been sat at this position, a year, 6 months ago, in terms of considering whether Your Return to Tech programme is for them. So you'll hear in terms of their stories. And then, like I said, at the end, there's a Q&A session. So you could ask any Q&A regarding to us, to a Tech Returners team, to the Guardian, or to our previous returners. So you have an opportunity there to ask anything that you may want. Remember, no question is a silly question. If you're probably thinking it, you know somebody else as well. Also, if you don't feel comfortable of asking in this open environment, there's details in terms of how to contact the team afterwards. So please make sure you ask your questions. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background into Tech Returners. So Tech Returners was founded by myself and James. And the reason why Tech Returners exists is based on my own personal story. My background is people, HR and talent, and I've been involved in the tech industry for the past 15 years. 8.5 years ago, I was pregnant with my first child, Ethan, and I sat on a leadership team for a very fast-paced tech business. And it was my whole experience of transitioning out and back into a fast-paced industry, ever-changing industry as the tech industry is. At that particular time, I didn't understand in terms of the impact that it had on me, even though it was a short period of time, but I lost my confidence. Networking was quite challenged with having a young family, all impacting in terms of how I felt about myself and my self-esteem. So as I then transitioned back into my role, I reached out to a few people in the community, and I formed a Women in Tech community Meetup group, and we're now the third largest women in tech community globally. And it was a reoccurring theme around the lack of support of people returning to tech after a career break. So James and I sort of started to discuss this and wanted to understand if there was something that we could do about it. So a little bit of a timeline around how that journey evolved. So back in 2017, we launched 2 pilot projects, and then that's progressed. And since 2017, 181 individuals have completed the programme, and 78% of them being women. And also that we've enabled over 123 careers in technology, 74% of these are women. So in terms of that timeline, when we did the 2 trial cohorts in 2017, we didn't know whether this was going to be actual concept which were going to work. We didn't know what the demand was. And we were really, really pleasantly surprised in terms of the numbers that we had on the programme, and then them resulting into going into careers in such a companies such as AO.com, Auto Trader and Think Money. When we established the business in 2017, 2018, after the pilot projects, we wanted to remain true to our values. So as you all know and you're aware, the programme is free for a returner to come on. And that's because of accessibility. So we're truly making upskilling and transitioning back into tech as accessible as possible. And then since 2018, we've partnered with some amazing organisations such as the BBC, Lloyds Bank, Infinity Works, Auto Trader, Xero, Alpha. More recently, we've just finished programmes with Holiday Extras and BAE Systems. 2022 is a really massive and exciting year for us. We're running 6 Your Return to Tech programs. We've got one commencing at the moment, and we're absolutely delighted to be working with The Guardian for this program. And we're hearing about them in more detail going forward. So we say we're always not stopping there. There's so much more still to be done. Hence, obviously, so many people on this webinar wanting to know about those opportunities. So just to put some faces behind names that you might or will come across in the future. So this is the Tech Returners team. So on the call today, you'll meet myself, James and Matt. Some of you might have met Charlotte, who looks after our talent acquisition. So anybody who started that process in terms of the application, you will have met Charlotte or spoke to Charlotte over email. And then we've got our tech team, Emily from our programs manager. We call her the glue that holds everything together. And we have a programs mentor, operations, and also a marketing team. So in terms of our commitment to you for the program, as I mentioned, we offer a free program to upskill and develop you. And we'll go into that a little bit more detail in the areas that we provide in terms of upskilling. It's not purely just technical upskilling. We focus very much on personal and growth mindset as well. But obviously, we provide opportunities for you to engage with our hiring partner and support in applying roles with The Guardian. And I'm sure The Guardian will share a little bit more about those potential roles going forward in the webinar. So what do we expect and ask for you in return? So we ask that anybody who applies and is successful in gaining a place on the programme to complete the full programme and apply for roles with our hiring partner. As you can appreciate, our Tech Returners team and The Guardian invest a lot of time into the cohort in various activities around the upskilling, around the engagement, around the supporting to apply. So as part of the programme, you will sign a commitment statement to that you will commit to the full programme and apply to a role with Guardian. You will also, on average, be committing about 30 to 35 hours a week around of the upskilling. Now, James will go into a bit more detail about how that's structured, because there's elements that's the lectures, but there's also flexible time where you can manage your time. So maybe that's in the evenings, maybe that's in during school hours, maybe that's in weekends. But we just want you to have in mind it's around 30 to 35 hours a week. So you have to obviously be in that ready mindset and have that support around you if you wanted to complete the course successfully. So as I mentioned, the first points of contact within the Tech Returners team will be our talent team. So you'll be hearing from Matt later on, and going through the application process, you will hear from Charlotte as well. And the talent team are there for you in terms of supporting to make sure that we understand in terms of where you are, in terms of your transition back into returning, to understand in terms of your previous experience and help and support you through the recruitment process. I'll now hand over to James, who will talk to you a little bit more about his team and also a bit more about the programme in general.
Thanks, Becca. Can everybody hear me okay? Can you hear me, Becca? Coming through? Bro. So yeah, a little bit around the actual program itself and what you can expect to cover throughout the program. It's created into chunks, modules really. The first module that you'll work through is pre-journey. And again, that's exercises that just gets that kind of engineering aspects going. We'll see a bit more about that in a moment. Then we shift onto software fundamentals, which is a 4-week module, followed by front-end development and then back-end development. And we'll cover a little bit more around those. And I'll also talk, like Becky mentioned, around the timings and things like that to help put a bit of detail around that 30 to 35 hours. In terms of the team that you'll be working with, in terms of support from us as tech coaches, you can see the individuals on there. So there's myself, Kim, Ellie, Simon and Neil. We all have different focuses. So for example, Ellie's a lot of front-end focus, Neil's our in-house kind of TypeScript expert and kind of full stack engineer, Kim's a lot of back-end. But essentially the thing I'm trying to convey there to people is that we are all engineers, software engineers in various forms, different expertise. And it's key to us that the people that you're interacting with are software engineers as well. So we actually have a dual role as working in the system. We're active software engineers, making sure that we're doing software engineering and passing on those skills and interests to yourselves. And as it mentions there, our team's got a combined over 47 years experience in different software engineering paradigms. So let's have a look quickly around the structure of the program itself. The first 2 weeks are what we call pre-journey, and that is a blend of technical and personal development aspects. So there's exercises to work through. In the nature of this program, it's JavaScript and Scala exercises to work through, just to start getting that kind of coding muscles going again and working through some exercises. But we also, as you'll see throughout the program as well, focus on personal development aspects that we call career and mindset management. So we'll talk about growth mindset as well during that pre-journey, again supporting the kind of both your career development as well as mindset management as well throughout the program. And then as an engineer, you'll be looking to get those completed before the program begins, because they really set you up for a great program past that point. Following pre-journey, we go into software fundamentals. And in this, the languages that we focus in on JavaScript, TypeScript aspects. So you'll be working with TypeScript. And we focus through fundamentals of engineering, some of which you likely have covered. So things like data structures and algorithms, design principles and clean code. We work through testing and test-driven development. And then some of the more team-based operations that you might experience when working with the Guardian, such as understanding of Agile and what that actually means, not just what we read in a textbook about Scrum, but actually what's it mean to be a collaborative team, and some of the collaborative processes you might experience as an engineer, such as peer reviews or code reviews, those kind of experiences. After fundamentals, we shift through to front end. We start off with kind of web application fundamentals. So we talk about things like accessibility, semantic HTML, the CSS, and structuring CSS really is enterprise level kind of structures of CSS for big applications. And then we finish off that front end working through React. And again, that builds on your TypeScript knowledge, so it's React with a TypeScript application, and testing React applications as well. So React being a really popular, if you've not encountered it before, really popular JavaScript framework for creating single page applications or responsive applications. Once we work through fundamentals and front end, we then shift through to back end. Now the Guardian utilise TypeScript and Scala as kind of two core languages. So we then shift a bit in terms of gears, and we start to look at Scala as a language as well. And we'll cover things like objects and object-oriented programming. And then crucially, as we're kind of co-creating this with the Guardian, things around functional programming with Scala. So things that you can expect to experience whilst working in the role. And then areas around the Scala ecosystem and supporting tooling, things like SBT and Scala Fix, different tooling that you can expect to utilize when you're working with the Scala language. A little bit around how we deliver, what you can expect from us really, and how we deliver the program. So all the sessions are remote and they're delivered via Zoom, just like we are today. And you have access to an online classroom. We use a tool called Google Classroom. So you have full access to all the material and recordings of the sessions. We mix things up in terms of the work to give you kind of experience of working in different forms. So there's a mixture of individual work, where you might work through like a lab that we've created, group work, where you might create some, have a thing to present back as a group, and there's pairing work as well, just to get that kind of breadth of learning approaches throughout the programme. There's dedicated support from us. I mentioned the team before. So the team that you've seen there will provide support over Slack or Zoom calls, and you'll have a dedicated Slack cohort channel. And we always recommend kind of sharing your questions in that cohort channel with your peers, because like Becky mentioned, there's probably somebody else thinking about that question, and it helps other people reinforce their learning as well. And a key thing to us is clear and actionable feedback. So you'll find when you submit work from the different kind of tasks that we work through with you, we give actionable feedback to help you progress as an engineer throughout the programme. Timings wise, so Becky mentioned at the start, it's sessions are between 10 and 3 p.m. Now, generally you'll see sessions in the morning or sessions in the afternoon, so 10 until 12, and they'll tend to be around 3 to 4 days a week. Now, that's not to say, the thing I want to make clear about this is, that's not to say that you're going to be on Zoom from 10 in the morning till 3 p.m. Generally, you'll see a session, maybe 2 hours, where we introduce a topic that's quite interactive, almost like seminar based. And then the time outside of that is your own to work through exercises. So when we say 30 to 35 hours, we don't mean you have to be there 9 till 5 every day. We mean that core times are between 10 and 3. That's when we're around and supporting and things like that. But a lot of the time is actually flexible on how it works for you. So if you're a person that finds it easier to study in the evenings and you want to do that in the evening, that's absolutely fine. And like I mentioned, you can expect to have sessions between 3 to 4 days per week. But yeah, the reason we say that is to get the most out of the programme. You get what you put in. So if you put in the amount of time into the program, time being an indication of something that we're putting back into the program, you'll get a lot of value out of it. So that's why we kind of put up those numbers. Really crucial to us, and this is an area we've developed recently even further, is it's not just technical coaching. So it's quite easy to focus on the code, the engineering aspects, but there's also a lot of career and mindset management that goes on throughout the program. And you'll have a dedicated program mentor, part of the team, called Millie, who will cover aspects around confidence. There's a session actually going tomorrow about reframing your break for those people that have had a career break, interview preparation, how to convey your skills. And you'll co-create throughout the program what we call a returner profile, which is really a profile that gets shared with the Guardian about who you are, your skills, and your background. So throughout the program, we have weekly career and mindset management sessions. So as well as hearing kind of from myself and the team around coding and engineering aspects, there's sessions around some things like growth mindset, confidence building. And like I said, that even starts in pre-journey as well. We provide one-to-ones, some coaching one-to-ones, and building your confidence. And the returner profile, you'll co-create that about who you are, your skills, and throughout the program. And then at the end, that kind of gets shared with the Guardian. And of course, there's going to be interviews with the Guardian for roles, so we support you with your interview preparation. So I'll hand over to Matt now to introduce a bit more around the Guardian. We've talked about them a bit, and I'll hand over to Matt.
Well, thank you very much, James. Hi, everyone. I'm Matt. As you saw before, I work in our talent and partnerships team. So I've been spending the last couple of months working alongside the Guardian team. So over the course of the programme, you will meet with the Guardian on a variety of different occasions, looking at presentations. So in the second week of the pre-journey, there'll be an array of company presentations from the Guardian teams on different topics. There'll be a variety of lightning talks on various different subject matters from them and yourselves. And then ending the programme will be the celebration event, which used to be in person, but unfortunately it's online now, but it's still a fantastic event to celebrate the success you've had over the course of the programme. So just going to move on to the next slide to introduce the Guardian team. And if I could ask members of the Guardian to turn on their cameras, and we'll just go through the quick intros. So we're joined by Mario, Director of Engineering, Anna in the development team alongside Jonathan, Phil, Shraddha, Sabina, Nicola and Casper. So thank you all very much indeed for joining us today, and thank you for investing in the Your Return to Tech programme. So some questions for you, just to give the returners a little bit more of an insight into why the Guardian are involved and day in the life at the Guardian. So just to start off with Mario, why are you investing in the Your Return to Tech programme?
Hi everyone. I think our excellent journalism is open and accessible to all, and we deeply think that we should ensure the same for all of our job opportunities and work opportunity. We believe that the lack of diversity in technology is dangerous and something we should work to and improve. We have seen otherwise that it will result in non-optimal and non-inclusive technical solution. We have seen this a lot of time, notably on machine learning and on video recognition. And so it's really important that we have inclusive team that does not reinforce existing bias or increase unfairness and injustice. We think our Return to Tech program and partnering with Tech Returner is helpful for us to recruit candidates that otherwise will have not think of applying to join us, or people that require additional support after the tech career break. We aim to improve diversity in our engineering function. We have done a lot of effort in the last year to improve our practices. We have been doing blind CVs review. We have been publishing our pay bands and the salary offers in our job. We have implemented flexible public holidays. And we think that tech returners could be incredibly helpful to increase overall our gender and age diversity. But we aim to improve diversity not only in the Guardian, but in tech in general. And so we have as well partnered with few organizations, for instance, Code Your Future, where a lot of Guardian developers are mentoring refugees or people from disadvantaged background to help them become a software developer. Another organization we have partnered has been Coding Black Females to mentor and grow technical management skills of young Black female. We think this is a perfect time for us to partner with you, tech returners, because we are scaling at the moment our product and engineering function. And so it's the right moment to have this kind of program and try to have a lot of people coming from diverse backgrounds with different expertise to join us.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's great to hear about all of the different initiatives that you're involved with and the journey you're going on, and why you're a fantastic partner for Your Return to Tech program. So thank you for that, Mario. Moving on to the next question. What's the culture like at the Guardian, Casper?
Thanks, Matt, and hi, everyone. I guess the most important thing to realise about the Guardian is that we are a truly independent organisation. I don't know if people have seen the series Succession on TV. It's not like that, right? We don't have a kind of Rupert Murdoch figure stalking the corridors and looming over people and telling them what to write or do. We are genuinely independent, and we exist just for the sake of our journalism. And we like to think that the journalism that we produce has an effect in the world and that it matters in the world. And that means that colleagues, and this is true right across the organisation, it's not just true of people in the newsroom, it means people right across the organisation, and including in product and engineering, tend to be quite driven by a sense of purpose and a sense of what they do matters in the world. And it also means that we have a really strong set of values that we've always cherished. We were founded 200 years ago, 201 years ago now, I guess, in 1821, 100 years later, on the occasion of our 100-year anniversary, great Guardian editor talked about our values then and talked about honesty, integrity, courage, fairness, and a sense of duty to the reader and the community. We don't need to satisfy a big boss. We're just there in service of the readers. Those values haven't changed. I mean, just to elaborate on them a little bit, and perhaps to put them into some more modern language, we say that we foster a supportive and an open culture. We say we're curious, innovative, classic tech stuff. We're prepared to fail, and we're willing to learn. And we embrace diversity, champion inclusivity. We treat everyone with respect. We really care about this stuff. And finally, we strive for excellence to pursue the best interests of our audience and our colleagues. And we stand up for what we believe is right, not what's easy. So that's what how we talk about our values, and we talk about them quite a lot. Do we really live them? I can't speak from anything other than personal experience, but I've been at The Guardian for almost 20 years now. I've not wanted to work anywhere else. I would say the answer to that question is emphatically yes. And I've lived through quite a bit of change in that time. I joined when we were still sort of two newspapers, The Guardian and The Observer, was our Sunday newspaper, and we were just getting going on this digital story. And now, last year, we had readers in literally every country around the world. And as well as what we do in print, we run this amazing 24/7 digital operation. We're the second biggest producer of podcasts in the UK. We're thinking really hard about the evolution of journalism in the 21st century, and also how we're going to make more money out of it as well, which is non-trivial. I've had the privilege of sort of running the products and engineering function for a couple of years now, 2 of those 20 years. And I would just say within the department, we've just got a really good, amazing collaborative culture where we sort of walk the walk. When people talk about empowering teams, we really do that. My job is to help kind of drive the strategy, make that as clear as possible, and then it's over to the teams and we empower them to solve hard problems that we set and talk about people delivering on outcomes rather than output, lots of good stuff like that. And specifically within the engineering function, which Mario, who works with me, runs, we've just got a really strong culture there. That's all accessible on GitHub. People can read that. There we talk about inclusiveness, we talk about knowledge sharing, we talk about driving a technical excellence. So sorry, that's my slightly wordy answer to that.
No, that's an amazing answer. Thank you very much. And apologies for the slight spelling mistake in your name. Most people can't pronounce Llywelyn, never mind spelling. So, you've obviously lost the Welsh element in your accent.
You've done an excellent job there, yeah, thanks.
Born and bred Wales.
Oh,
wonderful, thank you, Casper. Brilliant, so we're going to move on.
Matt, sorry, can I
yes.
just jump in on that? Yes, sorry, Mario mentioned it might be good just to speak more from a developer's perspective, just to follow up on what Casper said. Yeah, so no, just to say, so I've joined the software team at The Guardian as a developer, and I've sort of moved into a kind of hybrid editorial developer role currently. But yeah, I just absolutely to second what Casper said, that one great thing about doing tech at The Guardian is that you know what the impact is and you know what the purpose is, which is not true by any means of all software companies. And with tens of millions of viewers a day, like what you are doing will be seen and by millions of people. So just from the perspective of having joined the Guardian tech team after having worked in other tech companies and coming from a non-traditional tech background, like I've got an English literature degree, I just wanted to say that of those tech companies, The Guardian was by far the best from an inclusive and a positive experience perspective, which is not always the case for anyone who's had the pleasure of being a woman in technology. So The Guardian really does kind of, out of the places I've been, it is the best. One thing I'd say, which is perhaps relevant to people on this call, is that there is a big focus on learning, which is great, because obviously if you're kind of coming from a background which is different, you do need to do a lot of learning. But like all developers and engineers need to do a lot of learning. So I think that culture is very positive, whatever stage of your career you're at. And And yeah, just to credit Mario, I think he's very good at inculcating that culture. Yeah, and just to say again, like it's what Mario was saying about diversity being so important, and so that it's not just window dressing and it's not just, oh, there's one woman on that team or there's one person of color on that team. Actually, it's a significant number of people in all teams, and that does create different conversations and it creates different products. And yeah, I think it's great that Casper, Mario, everyone is like behind initiatives like this, which I think are excellent, and initiatives like this are what make the Guardian, you know, a better place to work. So please do this course, and yeah, it'd be great to have you work more closely with the Guardian.
Brilliant, thank you, Anna. Yeah, as Mario said before, it's danger not to have diversity in thought. So it's, to say, great to hear that as your own personal experience, the background you've come from, and the other initiatives. So thank you very much. Moving on to the next question. What's the onboarding process at the Guardian after you've secured a position? Who'd like to take that one?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it.
Thank you, Mario.
Yeah. Sorry. So I think we have recruited on onboarding quite a lot of people recently. Last year it was 30 software engineers on joining us, so it's quite a lot. So we have acquired some experience of doing it, but of course we can always improve. I would say a lot of change with the current pandemic as well. There was a lot of action that have changed in our onboarding process. Something that is important for us is that we always recruit individuals for the department rather than specifically in team. And we do that because we value a lot team rotation and working in different teams. And we are recruiting as well in multiple teams in parallel. So what will happen in terms of onboarding in practice, once we have made an offer to you and you have accepted, we will select based on your experience, your skill set, and business needs. What is the based on business need, based on your skills, based on your skill set, based on your preference, we will show the team which is the right team for you to start on, and then assign you a line manager. Now that person will do a lot of introduction, and the first thing is to send you a welcome email. They will share a bit more about the team you will be working on, and because we work in the open, you will already have access to a lot of things. You will likely see the code base and the tech recommendations we are doing. As I mentioned before, I think we mentioned before, we have an engineering cultures and performance framework, which is available on GitHub. So we will share a bit more link around existing documentation or tech block as well. You will then after receive kind of your laptop before this pandemic. You will have collected in the office. The first days, you're quite busy. There is a lot. You're getting your access granted, and you will have introduction with all of your team colleagues and introduction about the department. So you will usually, on your first day and during the first week, meet quite a lot of people at the Guardian. And your line manager will help you through this. He will schedule some pairing session with your colleague. But I would say our onboarding person is quite hands-on, which your line manager will have reserved some tasks, some engineering tasks for you to do, and some of them obviously accessible to you, some of them where you will pair with some other people in the department or in your team. And manager will, during the first week as well, discuss your kind of objective for your probation period and try to make sure you are feeling really well supported. So answer any question you may have. And of course, you will have when you join such a big organization, and make sure you understand from the day you join everything that the team is working on. There will be introduction to the wider department as well, which is important. We have all-hand meetings every 2 weeks, so you will be introduced to the department, what you are doing, and to. So you will have a lot of opportunity to join and connect with your colleague, both in your team, in other teams. And finally, we have a lot of induction, so it's going to be progressive. You're not going to do all your induction in the first week, but rather in the first month. where you will meet other teams, you will see architecture from other teams, and sometimes we organize pairing as well with other teams, which means you allow you to bind with your colleagues that are not directly in your team.
Fantastic, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Sounds like a great process. One question I missed out, apologies, is what is the size and setup of the engineering teams at The Guardian? Who'd like to take that one?
Hi Matt, I can take that one. Hello everyone. So we have approximately 20 cross-functional teams in the product and development department. This spans across journalism and editorial tools, supporter revenues, commercial advertising, end-to-end experiences, and developer experiences. Our cross-functional teams are composed of people with different roles and skills that are kind of needed in order to achieve a specific objective or to tackle a specific challenge or problem. So predominantly the roles that we have within a team are n number of engineers, a UX designer, a visual designer, a product manager, and a scrum master. But we also have other people from other areas of the organisation who join our teams depending on the objectives that we're focused on. So that might be someone from UX research or a data analyst, or a business colleague in marketing, or an editorial colleague. Every team, as Casper alluded to earlier, has a high level of autonomy to focus on the most important problems to solve and determine where they can be most impactful. And our teams have complete ownership of the platforms and services that they are responsible for. I'll hand over to Sabina, who I think is going to cover our approach to quality.
Thank you, Nicola.
Yeah, just to say thanks, Nicola. Yeah, we don't have a separate QA function or people. We the developers and the team in general own the quality to the product they're building. So quite sort of yeah, autonomous in that respect, and collaborative. And yeah, just to highlight, like, we are a cross-functional team, and we're a cross-functional department with teams that are cross-functional within themselves, and we do a lot of pairing, and you know, it won't just be developers pairing, it will be in a sort of DevOps mindset. There'll be sort of cross-team pairing, and people pair, you know, developers pairing with designers, and product managers on problems, essentially. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that.
Fantastic, thank you very much. So if I may move on to final question for the Guardian team. What support do you have in place for returners joining the Guardian?
Hi, I'll take that one. So I think like Anna has already spoken about the kind of culture of learning, which I guess is a big thing if you're joining an organization. Yeah, I just kind of emphasize that like I've been at the Guardian about 7 years, and I found that it's really great for learning, like, because of the culture that you're not competing with your colleagues. So it's like, no matter how senior they are, they'll probably be happy to take, like, you know, half their day out to pair with you on something. And we sort of keep ourselves honest, I think, with making it with providing that support for new people joining teams by doing team rotations. So you don't get into a state where you've got maybe 60 a group of people on a team who've been there for ages and they know everything. And then when you come to set up the project, like, nothing works because we have these internal rotations, and that can be great. Like in my experience, I spent a lot of time as a back-end developer, and then I wanted to do something new, so the Guardian let me work on like a React Native project, and I had never done app development before at that point. But basically through the support of other people on the team who were a lot more expert, like, obviously it took time to get to a point where I was, you know, writing code as much as them, but the support was there and there was no pressure. So and sure enough, like, you know, eventually you can learn to do it. So I think yeah, there's a lot of support there because it's not just new starters that are going through this, it's people going through the team rotations. But on top of that, there's some like more formal support for learning. So there's 10% time. So there's a day a fortnight, which is actually like blocked out in your team's calendar. So no one's supposed to do their day-to-day work. They can use that time for learning or some kind of side project or contributing to an open source thing. We also have a sort of semi-formal mentorship program, which can be like fantastic for, I guess, bridging team divides. So I work on the investigations team, so sort of helping journalists with really big data sets and building tooling for that, which is quite specific, but people in my team have at the same time been mentoring with people working on the kind of developer experience team, building like reusable infrastructure. So a lot of like AWS heavy work through the mentorship things. They're able to kind of keep their hat in both places and work out, you know, which work they're most interested in. Yeah, I think, and then yeah, finally there's the kind of more formal line management support. So we have a transparent progression process so that you can see exactly what you need to be doing to meet your role or to apply for a promotion. Yeah, I think that's hopefully that's the question.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you to The Guardian for providing that insight, and we'll move on to the next slide. So in terms of the application and selection process, hopefully some of you will already be going through that wonderful journey. So there is an application form for you to complete if you haven't done so. We do ask you provide as much information as you can on those answers. It really helps the talent team help assess your experience and your suitability for this particular program. So the more information you can provide us, the better. We're here to catch you in, not to catch you out. You'll have a call with one of the team members, mainly Charlotte, who will go through your application with you before going on to a technical task, which is a take-home exercise of where you have 3 days to complete. And there are an array of technologies that you can choose to complete that exercise in. Again, remembering catching you in, not catching you out. We'll then go on to an assessment. We'll get to know you in a bit more detail, going through a variety of different questions around your past experiences, along with a pair programming exercise with another returner. If then successful, you'll be offered a conditional place on the program where you'll be able to hopefully join and go through the experience. And moving on to the next slide. Thank you very much. Becky, over to yourself.
Brilliant. Thank you, Matt, and thank you from hearing from The Guardian. It was really great to obviously, you know, I've spoke to a lot of organisations over the years talking about diversity and inclusion and what they do, and you know, you can just tell in terms of people that just talk about it as like a document or a policy, but you know, The Guardian really then brought it to life in terms of actually what they do in practice. So it's just amazing to hear. So thank you very much for sharing that. Probably one of my favourite parts of the webinar is when I get to speak to our previous returners. So I would like to welcome Neelam, Arul and Mel to talk about a little bit about who they are, about their experience in the programme, and also what in terms of they're doing now. So just to put it into context, Arul secured a role with one of our sponsors just over a year ago, and Neelam and Mel just finished their programme with BAE just before Christmas, and both have secured a role within the department. So we're going to hear it from different perspectives, which is amazing. So ladies, before we start, could I ask you just to obviously introduce yourselves and just give a bit of a flavour of what your background was before, and you know, you've had a career break, and sort of what led you to sort of think, well, this is my time now, this is what I want to do, and choose the Your Return to Tech programme. Neelam, could I start with you, please?
Hello, everybody. Yeah. In fact, I was working as a senior software engineer in SCL technology long back. And then I had my two amazing daughters and I took off from my technical career to raise my children. And I was, it's funny, but I was just scrolling Facebook when the tech returners ad popped up. And this is how it started. And I can say, for tech returners journey, that I enjoyed every bit of it. I didn't miss even one session because every session is so, full of knowledge. And I still watch those recordings because I'm learning from them. Every tech coach and talent coach is so talented and polite, and you have support 24/7. You won't believe my queries were answered to the at night around 10 to 11 p.m. and in the weekends as well. So you don't need to wait. If you are stuck somewhere in the code, you can just drop a message and within some hours or within some minutes, if they are online, you will get the solution, or you will get the instead of giving solutions, they give you prompt or hint, and then you will work on that. And that's the amazing part of the journey. So in conclusion, I would like to say you are in right hand. Just go for it. This is the best thing I done for myself in the last, for the last 4 months. You won't believe I was in your position watching a webinar like that in September or in August and now I have an offer from BAE. Thanks. Just go for it.
That's amazing, Neelam. And obviously, we work quite closely together over the program. And even when I reached out to you and Mel, obviously, because it's only been a matter of weeks since obviously you've finished the program. And I just think it's amazing, and I hope you don't mind saying, like the beginning, in terms of confidence, you weren't sure, where you stood in terms of that progression. And now, not only have you completed the program, you've secured a role, and also you coming back on a live webinar, sharing those experiences. And it's just amazing, to see that progression from yourself as well.
Yes, Becky, it's not only, believe me, it's not only technical things you will learn in the program. You will learn self-confidence. You will learn how to present yourself in front of, people. You will learn a lot of things. And I should say now, when I started the program, when I watched the webinar, I was unsure because I was thinking that what to expect from a program which is free. But I'm happy to accept now that they do everything they have. They are so passionate about this program and they want everybody to get job. And BAE, I was interviewed for two roles, two different departments, and I got offer from both of them. And at the end, it was, I have to choose which department I want to go to. So that was amazing. And I know some of the peers who got offer from 4 and 5 departments because they were, flexible for the location. So that was amazing. You will get through this and you will achieve what you are dream of. So just go for it.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for that, Neelam. It's just amazing to hear, I think it's one of our common questions that people say to us, right, well, it's free. So what's the catch? Where's the small print? Where's the clause? And I genuinely say there isn't one. I'm extremely, and all the team are extremely passionate about supporting people like yourself that have almost written themselves off for those opportunities going forward because they took a career break for whatever reason. Like you said, you've raised two amazing girls and they're going to be extremely proud of you watching your transition back. And that's all we want to do. We want to create those opportunities and working with organisations that are fantastic, such as The Guardian, that, can help and support that transition. So I can genuinely say there isn't a catch. We're just here to massively support. And thank you for those words, Neelam.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you. Arul, so you've got to cast your mind back quite a period of time, probably a good 14, 15 months down. Just give people a flavour about what you did previous to your career break, and sort of what led you to decide now was the time to make that transition onto the Your Return to Tech programme.
Thanks, Vicky. Hello, everyone. Yeah, like it's more than a year ago now since I completed the Tech Returners program. Before that, I was working in a consultancy as a developer for several years, but then again had to take a career break for a family to raise 2 kids. And when I was looking to return to work, that's when I came across the Tech Returners program on, I guess I looked it up on Twitter, and yeah, it was the first London cohort, I guess. Joined it, and then got placed at Xero, and working as an engineer at Xero now.
Yeah, brilliant, fantastic. And you've been there 12 months, Sarah. Talk to us a bit about what that 12 months has looked like for you in terms of, obviously, you know, that transition, you know, so you've transitioned, you secured a role with Xero, now you've got 12 months. How has that sort of been for you in terms of from a technical perspective, but also from a personal perspective?
Technical perspective, it's like before I was working into, even before the Tech Returners program, I was working in on database programming, moved on to full stack development, and here at Xero, they give us a lot of independence with working with new systems, learning new technologies. So yeah, it's been a good one in terms of learning and improving my technical skills. And the other side of it, like taking care of 2 kids and then getting back to work, career full time. I know though it's online, there's lots of things like school runs to do and everything. And people at Xero are like, they are very open to such things. They are very flexible. And even if you want more flexibility, we can request that. And then, yeah, it's been a good one in terms of taking care of my work-life balance as well. Learning new things on that side as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, you've seen yourself progress over those 12 months in terms of your confidence, in terms of your technical skill set.
Yeah, it's been quite a lot of progression.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, fantastic. And it's great to hear, you know, obviously someone that's gone through that decision about why to return. And again, I work quite closely with you in terms of through the program, and seeing you obviously now secure 12 months under your belt in terms of not just from a technical perspective, but again, that confidence and being able to share those experiences. So thank you very much for that, Aurel. Mel, just coming to yourself, would you be able to just give people a flavour of what you did before your career break? And you know, in terms of Neelam mentioned before, I think it was 4 offers that you had on the table at one point. Mel.
Yeah, very lucky.
So it'd be good to obviously understand in terms of your background and why you chose to return at this moment, and how's that been in your experience?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Becky. Yeah, Tech Returners has been absolutely brilliant for me. It's almost too good to be true. My background, I worked as a Java developer, and then had a break from working in IT. I actually worked in healthcare for a while, but I also had some other responsibilities at home to take care of. And I was looking for a way back into tech, and Tech Returners was able to provide this, and I don't think there's anything else really out there like it. So I'd really recommend joining the program. It's been brilliant. Yeah, and it's been really transformative. I mean, at the end of the program, I had a whole portfolio of projects showcasing the latest technologies. And also secured job offers. So the program really does deliver.
Brilliant, fantastic. And I think especially, you know, I think all the cohorts, but Mel, Neelam, yours in particular, were so collaborative. So it's not that you're just upskilling and obviously building in terms of your confidence. I don't want to put words into your mouth, but it's almost you've formed relationships for life, because even though the program's finished, I still see obviously on the Slack channels that we use that you're regularly chatting to each other, jumping on calls, really supporting each other, and it's lovely to see, you know. And it'd be interesting to hear it from your perspective about keeping, you know, having that relationships with people that are going through the same thing as you at the same time.
Yeah,
go ahead, Neil. Oh.
Go on, Mel.
This is what we're like. Thanks, Neelam. Yeah, I mean, it's been brilliant. The collaboration we had on the cohort, you know, just saying hi to each other every morning, and I think that side of things was as important as attending all the technical training. It was really nice to have that collaboration, and then that sets you up very well for work environment, because that's sort of what it will be like working on an agile team. And so yeah, it's been fantastic. You know, I've gained colleagues and friends. Yeah, so best of both.
Brilliant. Neelam?
Yeah, I want to add, it's like, you know, tech returners journey is like a working journey for me. It's like I worked in a team, and I collaborate with each member of the team, and they were coming from different backgrounds and having different skill sets. As somebody asked in the chat, that if I don't have that particular skill, then you have support from your team and you have support from the tech coach. So you will get that. I had no idea about how cloud work and what is cloud basically when I joined the this course. But in the course, we was able to, you know, make the instance of a database in the cloud, and we was able to connect that. And it's not only tech coach, they are there and their support is brilliant, but your colleagues, your peers who are also in this journey help you a lot. And that collaboration means a lot to me, and that give you confidence also. So it was amazing, and we still, you know, say good morning or good afternoon on the Slack just to know what's going on.
Yeah, brilliant, fantastic. Oh, thank you to all three of you. Apologies, cut it a little bit short. We're just running out of time. It's been such amazing conversation. I am going to just open the floor to a couple of questions. Apologies if you have to jump off. I know that if anyone needs to jump off at 3, please don't worry about it. The rest of it's being recorded. Also, returners, if you do need to jump off, don't worry. Thank you. I'll catch up with you afterwards. I think there was a question somebody asked about the age range. Age is just a number, in my opinion. We don't really look at those statistics. Anybody who is, basically, we're looking for people who have had experience and looking to transition back into a career in technology. That's it. You know, we don't look in terms of age ranges, age categories, etc. So, you know, everybody has that opportunity to apply to the program, and it brings a range of diversity. It's not just like the Guardian said around gender, race, etc., but diversity of thought. So please don't feel there's any restrictions in terms of age. Just got the Guardian mentioned, obviously, just if people haven't read the chat, that it will offer flexible working arrangements. People work from home even pre-pandemic, offer flexibility, and also offer part-time work as well. So if anybody's worried, I think flexibility in my eyes means different things to different people. I myself work flexibly because I've got 2 young children, so I can do the school runs. Mentioning a bit like what Errol said, you know, I think all the organisations that we work with are very considerate to that sort of area in terms of flexible working. So please don't be put off again around those areas. Do you know how universal credit viewed job seekers? I don't know, unfortunately, Graham. That's something that we've not come across, but again, if it's something you want to discuss with the team, just just message in and we can see if we can support you on this. I think we've had someone where we've had to sort of confirm that somebody was on a program to them because from a benefit perspective. So that might be the same thing, but please do get in contact with us because we're able to help you on that however we can. After finishing the, sorry.
On that, Becky, Graham's dropped a mail in. So just so you know, Graham, we've seen it on the universal credit. We just need to work out how we provide you that evidence for it. Oh,
right, that's fine, no problem. After finishing the course successfully, we will start for the Guardian immediately, or we'll have another process to join. There will be, after you finish the programme, you will have some form of interview process, which you will know about in advance throughout the programme. And that will be in terms of obviously with the Guardian team, probably majority of people that you've met today, but don't worry about that. We're here to support you. The Guardian are here to support you. The Guardian have invested a lot of time in terms of this programme and wanting you to succeed. So you'll be very well supported from tech returners and the Guardian through that interview process to secure a place with Guardian. It does happen almost, there's a week sort of period after the programme finishes to help you get in terms of the right mindset, get the right preparation from us, and then going into the interview. So you're not waiting for a long period of time. May I ask whether Guardian would consider junior developers who took a break for this role? Can I just say I'm not one for labels. What junior or mid means to one organisation can mean totally different to another organisation. What we look at is if you've had some experience in software engineering previously and took a break and wanting to return, you are eligible to come onto our programme. So we're open in terms of looking at you as an individual rather than labelling you as a junior, mid, senior, etc. That's just all context. So please apply through the programme, have a conversation with one of our team. You might feel that you're a particular level, but let go through the process and let us support you in terms of where we feel that we can do going through your upskill programme. Do you need prior months, years experience in Scala or JavaScript? James, I'll pass it over to that one for that.
Yeah, it's probably a combination actually of us and Guardian team on this. So we cover, in terms of when you apply, I think Sabina mentioned earlier on in the chat, the task to come on the programme you can complete in different languages. On the programme itself, we will cover those languages. So we do have an expectation that people might not have worked through TypeScript, might not have worked through Scala. So the programme will cover those languages itself. So if you've not, I'd still encourage you to apply. If you have, obviously it's a benefit, of course. Or if you've worked on languages that are, say, object-oriented for some of the Scala aspects, or certainly from the Java virtual machine-based languages, that's beneficial. But I would still, if you've got prior engineering experience, I would still apply. I'd also share that question with the Guardian team if they want to add anything extra into that might help.
Yeah, and I think it's really important when we recruit, we don't recruit aside from very few exceptions, we never recruit a TypeScript expert or a Scala expert. We consider people with a variety of language because we know that as a software engineer, the language doesn't matter that much. What matters is your way of thinking, is your way of reasoning, is your way of collaborating with other people. So even during our assessment and when we do a pairing test, we're not valuing you how much you know about the language. There is no tricky question of do you know exactly how to do this, but rather your ability to resonate and your ability to do software engineering. And we have a lot of candidates that have been successful without prior knowledge of Scala or prior knowledge of TypeScript. Now, obviously, it helps a lot when you know a language to be proficient, and when you join the company, it's reduced, which is why I think we want to train you around on our tech stack so we can have a quicker onboarding process and a much bigger. But our interview questions are never about specific knowledge on the framework or specific knowledge on the language, rather than your ability to reason and your ability to collaborate when you solve problems.
Brilliant. Thank you both for that. There's a question, Ariel, you're still on, about sponsorship. I can see that you're typing an answer as we speak, so I'll let you carry on typing if that's okay, because that's obviously very relevant to that specific individual. But I'm hoping that I have covered, I know that the Guardian team have been amazing about replying to some comments as well as we've been going through it. If we haven't or missed, unfortunately, your question, or you come up with a question this evening on reflection, please do let us know. You can message in at any time to obviously our team, who will be able to support you. Like I said, we just pop the program details on the chat and our email address. The recording of the webinar will be sent over to you shortly, as in good timing, as Matt always does at the end. I'm stealing your thunder, Matt. I apologise. I'll pass over to you, just as a nice like that.
So to all of the returners on the call, just for us just to see if you're going to apply, please just quickly type yes into the chat box, or a little clap emoji just for acknowledgement, and we thoroughly hope that you've enjoyed today's presentation.
Brilliant, thanks, Matt. I nearly stole it for you, but I know that's your favourite bit. So we're seeing the yeses. Sounds great. People have done already, which is amazing. The Guardian, you've done an absolutely amazing job. Thank you so much in terms of obviously the content that you've shared. I think, it's just like I said, you can tell when it's from the passion place, and it really came across. To the amazing three previous returners, Neil, Emma, Rule and Mel, thank you so much. It always brings it to life. I can talk about what we do all day, but it's always amazing to hear it from people that have actually been through the programme and sharing those experiences. So thank you all so much for getting involved. Thank you to the team putting on another amazing webinar. Like I said, any questions, please do let us know. Really excited to watch the applications flood in and start the programme with the Guardian. Have a lovely afternoon, everybody. Thank you again, and I'll see you all soon. See you later.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
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 I think.
Bye.
Clap for everybody who's joining. Bye.